Hi guys, and welcome back to another one of my planner project videos. In this video, I'm going to be setting up the window that I'm going to be using to input data that is going to add users to my system. In the last video, I set up the OK Cancel dialog box, so the one that had the two options. So I set up that. Between this video and the last, I also had to fix a bug that I didn't realize was there. So basically, whenever I was loading up the application, because I'd added in that confirmation dialog whenever you want to sign out, and I used that sign out method to load up my screen for the first time, what happened was it was asking me to, are you sure you want to sign out? And it was offering the option to cancel. So I just created a small workaround so that I created a function to get sign-in data, and then rather than resetting the screen, it just did the sign-in data thing. So that being said, let's hop into Visual Studio. Um, if this is the first video you've seen in the series, I'll leave a link in the top right corner now for you, so that you can catch up from the start or go to whichever point might be interesting to you. So that being said, let's hop into Visual Studio. Right, so I'm here in Visual Studio and I've got my Add User View .saml file open, right? So all I've done is between this video and the last time that I went, anywhere near this view, which was probably when I actually just made my login window and made various windows. Um, all I've done is I've actually just already done the row definitions and column definitions, um, or at least started to. Um, so what I need to do is I just need to add a couple more row definitions in. And these are just going to be for the data entry. I'm also going to make them a little bit smaller, just because I've got quite a few more. Okay, so I'm going to have, so what data am I going to need? I'm going to need to add username, first name, copy that, right, so username, username, first name, second name, password, and I'm going to need them to confirm the password. All right. I'm only going to need one level of buttons, because I'll just lay them in the same space. And that should do it. What I will do as well is change these column definitions. Okay, so I'm not going to need this buffer of 68 here, and I'm not going to need this here. So what I will need instead is just to split it up into auto for where I'm going to put the whatever that thing is. So say it's like the label saying this is username, password, blah 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 blah. And then I'm just going to fill the available space with whatever there is left. Because the plan is, rather than having like I did my login view, a circle here with it's got clearly defined things. It's got clearly defined edges. My image that I've made to put in here um, has actually got text in it, and I think it looks quite neat, but it's taking up a lot more space than that. So that should do it, or it should at least do the grid configurations. Next up, I'm going to add in the image. So I'm just going to say the image grid.row is equal to 0. grid.column is equal to 0, and the column span is equal to 2. Okay, because here there is actually two columns. There's the one that is auto-sized and the one here that is given extras, which is given the rest of the space. Next up, I'm going to need the source. That'll be, go back a directory, go to icons, and then I have called it, I haven't called it anything. Give me just a mo, just so I can drag it in. There we go. So whenever you create resources outside of Visual Studio, even if you put it in the folder, it doesn't actually update what was in the folder. It's quite annoying, but you know, we'll go over it. So I called it new user icon, new user icon, and it's a PNG. There we are. So I quite like that. I may mess around with it a bit more, add in a few more spaces, like a little bit more space there. They're kind of sitting next to each other as compared to slightly on top of each other, or I might bring them in a little bit. But for now, I think that looks pretty sweet. Next up, right, so that's why I'm going to do that thing that I did before, where I say row 0, row 1. Now this I'm going to have a text block that has the text username. It is in grid.row 1 and grid.column 0. Let's see how that looks. Sweet. I'm going to change its vertical alignment. So vertical alignment equals center, and that's just so that it will be sitting in the middle of this column here, with the rest of the text being able to go there. So that being said, another thing that how is this sized? Oh, that fills all that space. That's no worries. Then I'm going to have a text block, sorry, a text box, and I'm going to give this a name. I'm going to set this equal to username. Grid.row is equal to 1. Grid.column is equal to 1. Vertical alignment is center, and I'm also going to give it a style is equal to, I won't put the style there. I'm going to put the style is equal to dynamic resource. It's going to be a and then I'm also going to give it a is it not help text, it is it's called, I used to forget what it's actually called. Material, no, not buffer assist. Hint text, there we go. So hint assist dot hint is equal to username. I'm just going to close that off. There we are. I'm also just going to give it some padding on its left. But no, not padding. I'm going to give it a little bit of a margin on its left. Just say 20 pixels. Okay, and some padding. Just give it maybe 3 or 2. There we are. Right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to copy it 1, 2, 3. I'm going to make so I have 5 copies of this. So Control C. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 more. Row equals 2, 2, 2. Change all of these. Right, 3, 4, 4, 4, and finally 5, 5, and 5. So now what data am I going to need? So I need username, first name here, surname here, and then I'm going to need password, password, and then this is actually going to be a password box. This is going to be a password box. Let's just realign this just so it looks nice, just so it fits in, you know. And then this one is going to be confirm password, confirm password. And I will have to change the style on these so that they actually, you know, work. So that's going to be password box, material design password box. Copy that into there, and then just change these help text. So first name, surname, password, confirm password. Wonderful. And then the final thing that I'm going to have to do is add in a row 6. I'm going to create a stack panel with the orientation to be horizontal. It's grid.row to be equal to 6. Grid.column is equal to 0. And it's grid.column span to be equal to 2. And inside of that, I'm just going to put 2 buttons. Flesh these out in a second. So the first one is going to be called I'm going to add this one. This is going to be the one that's here. So I'm probably going to need to actually horizontal alignment is left. I need to do not align the contents. Let's see if I can change the contents, like where they are, what side of the thing they're on. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to, which will be annoying. Um, Flow direction, there we go. I want it to be right to, there we go. What button is this now? This is my right mouse button. Okay, this is going to be my add user button. And the other one is going to be called my cancel button. Okay, so that basically, if they want to add the user, they can click there to add the user, otherwise they can't. Right, so now I'm going to have to add some padding, sorry, some margin equal to, give it some padding on its left, so I'm probably going to say about 25,000. No, it's the wrong side. 25 there. There we go. I think that looks good. I'm also just going to give it some content equals to add user, and then I'm going to give it a style here. Style equals dynamic resource, and it's going to be raised accent button, and I am. Well, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good just as it is. And then I'll quickly just copy that there. Give it some content. But this one is just going to be a raised button, raised dark button. Because I think if I just said raised button, yeah, that isn't what I want. But what I will do is, like I've done before, just change its border brush to be red, its background to be the dynamic resource, which is the background dark, and that looks dandy. I'm also just going to make them so that they're the same size. So width equals 100, maybe. Yeah, looks sweet. And maybe give them a little bit more height. Is equal to 50. Look. Oh, no, that is too big. 40. Yeah, yeah, I think that looks alright. Height equals 40. Cool. So that's actually all the front end stuff that I need to do. Yeah, that is all the front end that I actually need to do. What I might do is I'm going to actually align the content to the bottom. So down here, just set their vertical alignment to be bottom. Bottom. There we go. That is the look that I kind of want. Right. So that's all that I need to do for this screen. Now what I need to do is I need to go to the Add User View model because all my design elements are here. Alright, so let me add in the properties for each of these, and I'll do the username with you, just in case you'd forgotten from last time. But because there's quite a few, I'll just go through them one at a time and sort that out. So I'm just going to say prop full. It's going to be a string. It's going to be called username with an underscore, and the property is username with a capital U. So I'm going to do that again for each of them, and then I'll get back. One thing that I did forget to show you is you've also got to add in the on property change. So I'll quickly just do that for you, just to remind you how that looks. Let me just go, in fact, into my login view model, and then go under username. It was that notify property change. Might as well just copy that. And boom. So I'm going to do that for all of these. And then I've also got to deal with the password boxes. Yes. So that's not, I think because I have the helper and I didn't have to do anything about that, did I? No, I shouldn't have to. Because that's built into the bootstrap. I think I did that. So I'm just going to carry on doing what I was doing, but I thought just as I came across that realization that I'd forgotten this, and when I showed how to do this again, I thought I'd come back and show you. Cool. So I've got all that done now. So I've got the username, first name, surname, password, confirm password. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add in this cancel button function, and also add the can add user method. Just so, sorry, not method, property, just so that all of data has to be entered into all of these. They all have to be valid, that kind of thing. So one thing that I won't be able to add is checking whether this username is valid or not, like whether it exists or not currently, just because I don't have any of the data that I'm going to need inside this project actually created yet. Like that, I don't have any connected data sources. Right. So that being said, let's hop into here. Let's just say public void cancel, and then what I am going to do is I'm going to come into my login view model, copy this. Let's show me paste it in. I'm also going to have to create the constructor for this, passing in I window manager WM prop. It's going to be an I window manager window manager. I'm just going to get rid of this get set. I'm just going to get rid of that get set, and then I'm just going to say window manager equals WM fit. What I'm also going to say is I'm just going to put cancel. Are you sure you wish to cancel adding a new user? Any changes that all details, no details will be saved. Oh, yes and no. If that, then close saying that it wasn't added. Otherwise, just break out this function. Coolio. Right, that's my cancel. And then I'm going to also add in my sign in, add user and can add user. So public void add user. I'm just going to say add a note to say do add user stuff. and then it's going to probably say a message. But I'll leave the message for now, and then I'll just say try close with a true because it did the thing that it wanted to do. Neat. Then I just need to say if you can actually do that. So public bool can add user get, and we're not going to need a set. So I'm just going to say for now just return true, just to make sure that what I've done works. There we go. Just to see whether this will actually work how I want it to. So let's run it for the first time and hope that I haven't made any issues. Right, what have I got? Is it those issues? Um, right. So that was because I needed to do that IOC dot get a add user view model. Everything close. I also need to just do that. That. There we go. But you just close this just so that code will work. Cool. No issues whatsoever. Right. So if I say add user, cool, we've got this. I am going to have to add that border on, which I haven't done. So I'll do that just in a sec. Just to see where we get all this working. Audio, we can add type text into each of these. And these make them passwords. So cancel. I'm going to, oh, that was something that I never did. I didn't say that I wanted it to wrap the contents. So that's something that I'll have to change shortly. That's something that I'll have to change shortly. No, add user. Cool, the user was added. Right. So, let me quickly just change that up in here. So that was in my 2-button dialog view. Inside of my message, and it was I'm going to say text wrapping equals wrap, and now we should get what we want. Fingers crossed. Add user, cancel. There we go. So now, as you can see, it's wrapping the text. Neat. Right. Now I'm going to close that. I don't need this login view anymore. Well, actually, what I will do is I'll quickly just get how I did the I don't need the view model. Here's the view, and I'll just get how I did the border. Oh, actually, I just popped it inside of a border. Neat. Come up here, come up here, drop it inside of a border. Now, yeah, now that's got that nice red border. So now I can close my view, these view models. So login view and login view model. But I will pick up this thing for the password. Just because that password it's just a lot of typing. So can add user. Put it's all on new lines. Oh, get rid of that code. Format that, there we go. Right click this, that's there we go. So now that is checking whether the password is valid. So if it is valid, then don't return. Then we also want to check if the password, um, if password is equal to password check, then actually, no, confirm password, and return. Then that means that all the password stuff is done. So that means that we're still all good. Then if that isn't the case, right, so we've done that. Now we just need to check whether they contain data. Okay, so now we'd say, I think this was the line to check whether things contain stuff. Okay, so I can just add to this now. So because I've got more than that, I'm just going to pop it on each one on a new line, and not string dot is null or empty, passing in the first name. Copy this, so name, and I suppose I might as well just check the confirm password. So now I've checked whether the um, username has data, first name, surname, password, and confirm password. So I've checked if they've all got data, checked the password to see whether it's valid, and then checked if the confirm password is the same as password. Okay, and just because this makes more, because I'm checking the confirm password against the password, just makes more sense in my head to write it that way. So now let us run this. Add user. As you can see, I can't add user. Let's add a link called tester, testing account. For some reason it didn't like the password I gave it. So let's call it capital T testing 123 exclamation mark. Same thing here. Testing 123 exclamation mark. For some reason that's still not liking that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to add a breakpoint here. Yeah, let's add a breakpoint. Let's say about here. There we go. Just so it can, when I come to check stuff, um, actually no. Cool. So currently that is empty. Continue. Ah, right. I remember why. So remember we had this issue before in the login user. It's because just get rid of that breakpoint. It's because I never actually updated this value. Right. So in like this here, I never actually notified that the property was changed. So if I notify property change, put a semicolon, and then just copy this. Put this here. Just put this after everything. Because any changes to any of the data, I'm going to want to update that property. Run it again. And now this should work. Add user. So testing, count, password, capital T, testing, 1, 2, 3, exclamation mark, capital T, testing, 1, 2, 3, exclamation mark. And now I can add the user. If I were to not include the exclamation mark just for the period, they're not equal. But everything contains data, they just aren't equal. So let's click add user. Cool. And then in the background, this will have been adding the user in. Neat. One thing that I may do is possibly change the text saying username, password, blah, 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 here into an icon. So I'll have to work out some icons to put there. But for the time being, I think, that this text here isn't too bad. It's certainly not in keeping with the theme. You know, I much prefer the way that that looks as compared to this. And I also center these buttons. But for now, it will do. Though I do like the way this looks. Just because I couldn't think of an item or something that looked like this. Maybe if I'd had like an icon that was like that inside of there with a plus inside the chest, maybe. I think this looks cool. Or maybe even just put that icon in there. So I'll give that a go, and then I'll see which one I prefer, I suppose. So let's just go into my view, my add user view, not my dashboard view, add user view. Change this, what this looks like, and this was called user main icon, I believe. Yeah. Also going to add a padding equal to 30. No, margin, I think it would have to be. There we go. Just so it isn't quite so large. Run it and see what it gives me. See how I think it looks. Add user. Yeah, I like that. I may make just one that's got a thinner border, just because I quite like the light border. Or I may change that one. I'm not sure. But I think I actually prefer that maybe over the add user. Or I may make a copy of this and adapt it so that it actually says add user. I'll also change it so that it works out to be the same size as this, just to add consistency. Push it to the top again for consistency. But yeah, I quite like this. Right, so between this video and the next, I will likely update these to be images, just because I thought I would like the aesthetic of this, but I think because the confirm password is significantly longer, and because I'm also adding in these hints, it's kind of not necessary for me to have it. So yeah, but I like the way this turned out. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please consider hitting the like button. If you haven't already, it'd be much appreciated if you would hit the subscribe button. So in the next video, I will probably start work on populating or making the controls to populate my various views, like say like my dashboard, like my dashboard view elements. So what will be going inside of each of these. So I'll probably actually change this text here to not say finance, events, notes, projects. Or if I do, then I'll also add some, more the fact that what will go into these and what will actually go in the contents of finance and projects. So, yes, that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one and have a good time until then. Cheerio.